And we're back at St James's Pod. In this one, we're looking ahead to Liverpool at St James's Park. We're looking back at the disappointing trip down to the Vitality Stadium, and we're discussing Wembley and the tickets the boys have just managed to get. All that after a word from the sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Sword Tiling, lead tiling specialists in the Northeast, covering all aspects including commercial and domestic. They've got you covered. So head to sword_tiling on Instagram and tell them St James's Pod sent you.
Right, so we were just waiting for the email all afternoon Tuesday. It was a very tense day. And like I say, Dawson was managed to spot a little transaction on the on your season ticket profile. So we were all like, what the fuck does this mean? A few people on Twitter had the same thing, and it was like sort of filtering through people. And then it vanished off the transaction went, and we were like, what is going on here? And then Decker, one of the lads, screenshotted his bank account and the money had been taken out. Then the email landed, so we were like, fucking get in. What a moment, man. We were absolutely buzzing.
And did you all get seats together?
3 together, one next to each other.
Oh, ideal.
You know, you're saying like the money came out of his account and that. So we use all like attached to the same application, and if like one of you's got it, you's all got it.
Yeah, you link them. You link receipts. So like me and Dawson have got them linked anyway. So if everyone wanted to buy a ticket for a home game, we could buy 2. You just got to assign them to. I'll assign one to me and one to Dawes. But it's got to be assigned to that person. So if you link all 3, one person can buy all 3 of them together. That's how people are getting sat together. It was like a group application, I think it was.
So we were toying with the idea of like just doing individual applications to see if like that would increase the chance of actually getting a ticket. Like, and obviously we would have been sat like by ourselves, but in hindsight we were lucky in the draw and we got the 3 seats together. If we went individually, there's a good chance 1, 2, or even all of us wouldn't have got seats. So just look at the draw.
There's quite a few people that we know who were in the same tier as us. One of Dawson's good mates, Mark. He's been a season ticket holder for like 10 years, something like that.
Aye.
And him and his dad and his uncle didn't get a ticket. They were in the same period, didn't get a ticket. So
there's been like massive sort of controversy because people obviously in the very bottom tiers have got tickets, and then season ticket holders, like you're saying, haven't. I'm not sure what you guys think of how they handled the ballot system, because I think the tiers like 1 to 3 were probably done quite well, but then the fact that people could still go in tier 7 and people missed out from tier 4 and stuff.
I think that's the case. I think it's because I know it was a ballot, but non-season ticket holders were getting tickets over season ticket holders, which but then again, you could say that the season ticket holder, if you're a season ticket holder, it's got nothing to do with the Carabao. So it's like, well,
true.
Do you know what I mean? These people in period 7 might have bought a ticket for every Carabao Cup game. Season ticket holder might not have been any Carabao Cup game. So swings and roundabouts. Well, first, you've got there's different arguments.
There's got to be a bit of a carrot there for the non-season ticket holders as well. Like, otherwise, if you'd be like, well, fuck, it's not even worth trying to get a ticket if I'm not a season ticket holder. So there's got to be some sort of little play there for people to try and buy tickets as well. So
exactly, they just wouldn't bother next season.
They've wanted to give the opportunity to like members and people who've bought tickets to like say the cup games who aren't even members. Yeah, like giving them an opportunity, and obviously some of them did. But then I think the Newcastle Supporters Trust just came out this week and said that 97% of all tickets available have went to season ticket holders in the end. So 3% of 33,000 is 1,000 tickets basically. So yeah, it's a fraction, but season ticket holders have lost out at their expense. So it's a tough balance in that.
But you can't expect, like, we've got quite a lot of season ticket holders. Like, we can't expect all season ticket holders to be able to go to Wembley because of we haven't got the greatest capacity of tickets for Wembley. Like, we only got 30,000 odd, which, that in itself still is a piss take because of the amount of seats that have gone to corporate ones.
It was about 30,000 went corporate, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, which I doubt all of them are going to be taken, which is just stupid because they could have gone to.
Did you see the price of the
actual
corporate?
Fans who wanted it.
My brothers were looking into the corporate, and it was like 500 quid a head. Obviously, you get dinner and stuff.
Yeah, expensive, like
that's for 10. It's not too bad, not bad value.
It's a cheap dinner in London, that, isn't it?
That's it.
Well, there's people with the club Wembley memberships as well, who you pay for like a yearly membership, and you get your seat for concerts, gigs, matches, all that, and obviously they're then flogging them tickets for a fortune, trying to make a bit of a profit. But listen, we've got the tickets, we're going, we're laughing. Here we go.
Do you know what time it's for? News!
News time, all right. In the news this week, the main story is Chris Wood's off.
Woods is one of the Forest.
Past his sell by date, is he?
He's now. They're now obliged to sign him for 15 million, isn't it?
15 million.
Money for that.
15 million.
And we're still getting money for the loan fee as well.
Yeah, aye. I think it worked about 18 million, sorry, altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think
you can see why we'll let him go, like.
Well, exactly.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's not bad business, really, if you think about it. Like, we've only total spend on him then from our side was like 7 or 8 million, and all right, he scored some important goals back end of last season to keep us up, and then we've moved him on, but like, those goals he scored for the money that we've spent on him really is, I don't know, I think it works out all right in the end.
Yeah, and he's a year older as well, obviously, so he's at the back end of his career, so I don't think that's bad business at all. But obviously, we've been left a little bit light up front now. But the bigger concern is the midfield. But before we get onto that, there's also Sir Bobby Robson's 90th, it would have been this week, and that'll be celebrated at St James's at the weekend, won't it? I think War Flags are doing a big display, aren't they?
I believe so. I've just seen on Twitter before they've dangled a little bit of bait, saying that it's going to be a massive display, so that'll be good to see.
It's a good listen, not to talk about other pods, but there's a good podcast, 4-part series from The Athletic on Sir Bobby Robson.
Get in here,
promote another podcast.
You got a fucking mole in the camp.
Sorry,
Comes on one episode.
Athletic's got a fucking mole in.
Get out. Put the link in the bio.
What's going on here?
Commission links and all.
George Colligan, good guy.
I knew we should have asked George to come on.
We did. You just couldn't make it.
And Tom, you were saying before we came on that there's been a news article about Lascelles.
Yeah,
apparently won't be in the squad.
Yeah, not too sure why it is, but I think he's going to be not included for personal reasons. So I know there's been a lot of transfer talk of him going to Forest as well in the summer. Not sure if that's in any way linked to the reasons for why he's not going to be in contention tomorrow. But just caught my eye that he's not available for those reasons, which, you know, hopefully it's nothing too serious if it is family related stuff. But I don't expect to see him in the matchday squad.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be
any
transfers at this time of year. But
have we heard anything more about Wilson? Is he looking like he's back in training yet, or?
Eddie Howe said today in his presser that he hasn't. It was a very minor thing for him to complain about. So first, Wilson came out and said that, usually when I'm sort of 80, 85% fit, I've just declared myself fit, and then he's been playing on the edge, and then he's knackered himself for the future. But he said, I'm sick of taking that risk. Obviously, enough the competition with Isak is now made him make that decision, because if he's fucked, Isak's in, and then Wilson's place could well be lost. But I don't think it's as serious as once thought. He hasn't trained all week, apparently. If he got through training today, he's in contention for tomorrow, but it didn't sound worrying from what I read.
I wonder if it's actually the other way around, where like now he feels like there's a competent understudy. So like if he declares himself not fit, he's not like hurting the team as much because Isak just comes in.
Exactly. So maybe he's got.
Whereas before it was Dwight Gale, and he was like, "Oh, our best player." I'm pretty much there, our best player.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, really, especially with his age and his injury record and stuff. Because he said he was gutted about missing Bournemouth, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But let's be honest, he's targeting Wembley and he wants to be fully fit, ready for that. Like I'm sure, like most of the squad are. But so I'd be definitely thinking he'll be on the bench rather than starting. Just with being just around the corner for Wembley.
I've seen on another one. I was just going to say Sean Longstaff, he was voted the player of the round for the semi-finals, so he should have as well.
I bagged the 2 goals, didn't he? And played really well as well.
Exactly, he's been flying.
What's that? Just like a public vote, is it? Or is that like by the
public vote, mate?
Pundits or the sponsors, or?
The Toon fans are all over these public votes, like.
Well, talking about Longstaff, we'll move on to the Bournemouth game, because the problem is with Bruno out, he's had to drop back in the 6, and I think actually Joe Linton was swapping with him at times, almost like with even a double pivot at points. How do you feel? Obviously we drew the game. It was pretty disappointing, but how do you feel we survived in midfield down at Bournemouth without Bruno?
Early,
we had no control. Like it was just really sloppy. Like we couldn't really string a few passes together, let alone try and control things. I think Jefferson Lerma had a really good game for Bournemouth. He seemed to have a lot of control of that midfield. We just.
Do you think it was down to
creativity.
Willock getting an injury, or do you think it was already going to be like that? Because even when Willock was on the pitch, like he actually picked up the injury pretty early, didn't he? So I don't think he was playing 100% even when he was on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think the change obviously forced his hand, which he would never have done, but I didn't think we looked any worse when Willock wasn't playing. I think it actually changed it up a little bit so that it maybe disrupted the game plan of Bournemouth a little bit more than they would have planned for. But I don't know. It wasn't a bad game. It was just a bit lackluster, in my opinion. We didn't really finish with chances. We created a little bit more than Bournemouth, but still nowhere near what we used to be, what we're used to seeing from the start of the season and whatnot. So, I don't know. People are putting it down to a bad game and, not the result that we wanted, but I think it was just one of those where, seasons of old, you would have seen Newcastle not grind out that result and we would have lost that game. So I think for me, you take the positives.
We were very close to losing it, though. Like, to be honest,
we were.
Right.
The defense was probably the worst we've seen them all season.
Yeah, shaky.
But like, we alluded to like Shelby going in January, leaving within on the ground, and then what happened? Willett goes off, Bruno's banned, and then we haven't got enough centre mids to keep a formation, so it forced us into changing formation. Really, basically went to like a 4-2-3-1. Like and
Shelby was on the bench for Forest that weekend.
Which we haven't done before, and how really. Like, he usually goes 4-3-3 and sticks to it no matter what. Obviously, we changed it up, putting Wilson and Isak up front a few weeks ago. But Wilson's injured, so then Gordon had to come on. But I thought he looked really bright, to be honest. I thought we looked like we weren't creating much at all in that first half, but he was one of the few bright sparks in the team because there was a lot of bad performances going on. Like,
we said the same thing when he came on against West Ham. He was like, the energy he's got is brilliant. I think he wants to create stuff. He wants to make things happen. You basically take it by the scruff of the neck and think, fucking how Ellen we'll sort it out, which is great to see, to be honest. Like,
so do you think in training this week they'll be training on a new formation? I think they'll be trying.
I think we'll probably start with the same formation that we finished.
Yeah.
The game in. I think we'll start Gordon again. I think we'll start two wide men again, and I think that's partly due to the amount of centre mids we've got. Like, who else are we going to put in there? We've got Joe Linton and we've got Longstaff. Like, it's ridiculous. I think we're being forced into it, and I'm not really sure that like would want to like put two in the centre midfield against Liverpool, because obviously we know they play with three centre mids no matter what, so like matching them up like is probably a good way to do it. But yeah, going back to the Bournemouth game, we never really had control of the game at all, which again we've had so often lately. We control games, especially against teams in the bottom of the table, and I just felt like we never had that the full game.
It was like panic. It was like a rush instead of just easily just playing football. Trying to walk the ball into the back of the net again, but like, I don't know, it just felt like panicky. Like there was no one just to say, "Calm down, we'll just pass it around."
I think, I think that comes from Bruno, though, doesn't it?
Well,
it's like the centre backs don't have an outlet to play it short in the middle, so they're constantly either just going like back down the line, or they're looking for the long ball, and then Isak. It's not his game, is it? The long ball. He doesn't seem to have the strength for the Premier League. He gets knocked off the ball quite easy.
Yeah, I said exactly.
Can't really hold it up.
He's so lightweight.
Which that's not his game. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's why the defense looks so shaky. Though, is like there's no real outlet for him. I know like Longstaff's coming in, he's playing that position, but he's obviously not the same player Bruno is. And then even Joe Linton, like if he sits in the six, he's still not comfortable on the ball like Bruno is.
Yeah, totally. Like there was so many moments where their pace really did unsettle us. I think I haven't seen Pope have to rush off his line as many times as he had to do in that game just to clear the lines. And I mean, it's great having him be able to do that and be a bit of a sweeper keeper, but at the same time I don't think it's his game really to be needing to do that. So the amount of times I mean we've talked about Burn, and like sometimes up against pacey players he can be caught out, and I think there was a couple of times where he did look a little bit like he was running through treacle. So like I think we need.
We said in the preview, didn't we? Like
back
they're a pacey team, Bournemouth, so it's always going to be a little bit of a dodgy one when that's their game against a slower defence. But yeah, I mean Dan Burn's been getting absolutely hammered, which to be honest, I didn't think he was as bad as people are making out. Because people are blaming him for the goal, and it's like it's actually not his fault at all. He was the spare man. Trippier leaves his man, Isak leaves his man.
Yeah,
So I don't really get why he burns.
West Ham though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what wound me up. It was exactly the same. It's like West Ham had like scored against us from that flick on at the front post. Bournemouth had looked at it and said, "No, let's try that." And it's worked first time. Like it's Eddie Howe, to be honest, fucking raging at that as well.
Like Tyndall's the set piece guy, isn't he? And I just feel like that was. I understand like Dan Burns the biggest guy in the team, so have him sat spare in the middle of the box. But really, why is Isak marking their centre back or whatever he was?
Yeah, that's the key.
Like,
you don't put a striker on a centre back. It's as simple as that.
Unless the striker is like
picking them up,
a bit more of a like
Duncan Ferguson or something. But
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good example of it. But like Isak is clearly nowhere near Duncan Ferguson's stature. So yeah. And
Trippier came out and did say he lost his man as well, which was the flick on, and then Isak just left his for the tap in. So
I do think it's something that'll be worked on.
Hopefully they've been doing it in training.
Yeah, I think 100% it'll be worked on. It's happened twice, so it'll need stamped out.
And
but now it's like the set pieces.
Go on, Sam.
The offensive set pieces are like not paying off, and the defensive set pieces aren't solid anymore. So something's gone wrong at some point.
With the offensive set pieces, we've got the highest XG in the league from offensive set pieces, but we're underscoring by like a couple of goals. So like, say what XG is like 10 higher than anyone else, we've only scored like 6 or 7 goals from set pieces. So we'll always say how bad our players are heading. How we'll get a load of crosses in from like free kicks and corners, and we don't convert very often.
I don't understand how we can't be worked on. How we don't utilise our height in the team. Like
they've got height, but they can't hit the ball.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like we've got all the height, so we should be winning. We should be winning everything, and like it should be nailed on that someone scores a header. But it doesn't happen for some reason. It just hasn't dropped yet.
Botman gets ahead of every game. Every game he gets his head on something. Just needs to get it on target.
But he'd like a sheriff's badge.
God.
If only you didn't stumble over that. That would have been...
It was line boy.
Okay, now.
Do you want to start talking about Maxi? Because he's kind of dividing opinion again, even though it was his brilliance that led to our goal.
Immaculate play by him.
I don't know. I've said it loads. He's such, and I know Pete called me up on it, but it's my favourite phrase to describe him. But he is so Jekyll and Hyde. Like in the game, he goes from. But I just don't. He's got two different like personas on the pitch. He can be this like maverick player who can just pull something out of nothing. Like it was a fantastic ball across, like great pass. But then there's
the way he kept
some
it in
wild...
as well, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. The whole setup to it was great, and like it was fantastic from in that sense. But then there was some presentable opportunities for shots on goal, and there was some horrible efforts that he like. I don't know how he can go from the sublime to the like absolute like shocking like efforts that he has in the course of 90 minutes. Like it's just so frustrating because we know he can do it, but it just doesn't happen enough.
He seems to snatch at every shot for me. You know what he's going to do? He goes on the left, he cuts inside, dinks it past one, and then he snatches. It seems he snatches every time.
Yeah.
It's
because he's basically falling over by the time he hits the ball.
He doesn't lift his head up and pick his spot. He just lashes at it.
He's too quick for his own good sometimes.
Yeah, he just needs to settle a bit. But that's his game. His game's not about finishing. He actually said this when he first joined. He said he cares more about getting assists. I remember an interview he did when he first joined that he said he'd rather get assists.
Funny that he's just shooting from everywhere.
I know. You think he's fucking desperate to score?
How many assists has he got compared to how many
Well, that
goals
is
he's
another
got
thing,
since he's joined Newcastle? There's got to be a stat on
He's
that
definitely
somewhere.
got assists. How is Statman Dawes?
Oh yeah, I just know how many assists he's got.
We'll just hide him right under the bus there, like.
Just plug
you
it
know
under
what?
everything.
What you fucking playing at this? It is a thing that's been bugging me though when you're saying about shooting. I don't know why we are not getting more shots off. We seem to be trying to walk the ball into the goal, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Fair enough if it's there, but just have a shot. If it's on, have a shot. Like fair enough. If we're 2-0 up, you don't need to start lacing it from everywhere. But if we're nearly there, it's just that last little bit. Just have a fucking dig. If the gap's open, have a dig. Just get on target.
I think that's been a problem all season, to be honest, because we keep saying it's like, the last ball or the final third, but I think we're waiting for too good of an opportunity.
Yeah,
it's not like a 9 out of 10, so we'll just pass it back to trips or whatever. It's like just take a punt at like a 6 out of 10.
It seems to be the same worked goal, goes out wide, little overlap into the corner, and then a ball in the box. But when we put the ball in the box, we've got either no one there or one person there. Like, just have a dig. Someone might get the rebound. You never know.
And what did you make of Miggy's performance? Because obviously the finish was like beautiful, but people are kind of saying that he's getting a bit tired.
It doesn't surprise us. It doesn't surprise that he's running a bit empty. He might just need a bit freshen up. Playing every game, might just need a bit freshen up. It's a good thing we've got Gordon. He can play left, he can play right. If it in the need,
yeah.
To be honest, it might be an idea to drop Miggy against Liverpool. Gordon's got a bit more.
Rest him.
Yeah, rest him, not drop him, rest him. Maybe Gordon's got a bit more fight about him. So, but I think Miggy. Well, if we're going on to Liverpool and Van Dijk, if Klopp said today that Van Dijk's going to start, whether he doesn't, I don't know. But I think Miggy might want to be rested this game for me and give Gordon a chance, because Gordon will be fired up to play against Liverpool.
Well, that's my worry though. Is he going to be too fired up?
I know what you're going to say.
No, but like, is he going to be too fired up? Like, I know we haven't really seen him
get sent off.
Potentially, like if it's a big game.
He's played against him before,
though. No, he has. But I'm just.
You wouldn't think he'd be as fired up playing for us as he would be, like at Goodison Park playing for Everton.
Yeah, if your fans at Goodison Park are fucking booing you, and then that's going to wind you up, and then you're playing against Liverpool, it's going to wind you up even more. You'll just lash out or something.
It's more just like bragging rights for him and like the people that he'll know, like who Liverpool fans, and like I think he even didn't he not start in Liverpool's academy and then moved on to Everton's academy. Like, so I don't know. Look, I might be just clutching at straws here, but like that would be my only worry, that he gets like too fired up for it. Like I'm all for the passion, but like just that's my only concern. But he's going to probably need to play anyway.
He's a bit more. He's tougher, isn't he, than Miggy? Miggy's a bit lightweight as well. Can go down a bit, whereas Gordon can get himself stuck in. If he gets fouled, you don't know if he's going to get up or if he's going to roll around, to be fair. So, I don't know. I think I would rest Miggy, because Gordon can't play the final. Gordon can't play the final, so it's a game for Miggy to rest.
It's a good point.
I'd be worried about Trippier, though, without Miggy. He does a lot of working back, helping Trippier out.
Do you not think Gordon would?
And
I do.
Darwin Núñez on that left-hand side.
I think Gordon
he would.
100%. Track back and help him out.
Yeah, he'd track back and help him out. I just think Miggy and Chips have got a great understanding, so it's whether you want to break up that partnership, innit?
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean.
And the other thing is, do you think Har will have one eye on the final? Because he always says he takes it one game at a time and he never looks past the next game and stuff. But
You've got it.
And there's a week's rest between. It's not like it's just round the corner.
You've got to have one eye on it because he's got to be planning his team. He's got to be looking, thinking, right, that's the team I want to play, strongest team or whatever it is in the final. And then work back from that and go, right, what do I need to get to? What's my rotation look like? What am I forced into doing, tactics-wise and formation-wise as well? So I know he says he doesn't look forward, but you have to. Like, I don't know how you don't. With the squad depth that we've got and how thin it is, it'd be silly not to look forward and at least put a half a plan in place.
Yeah, I think he would have. Like you say, I know he comes out and says, it's like, we'll go take game by game, I'm focused on Liverpool, but I think you're right, Jack. Like, he has to think of something. That you can't just go into Liverpool and then Sunday morning think, right, what we're doing next Sunday. You know what I mean? It's got to be there has to be something there, but what can he change? Bar the whole Miggy, Wilson, Willock thing, what the fuck can he do?
Yeah, he's not got the options, really, has he?
If Lascelles out, we haven't got... All right, a bit high, Pete.
What would I do?
Can I do that?
I didn't realise.
Yeah, we've got no other centre backs, so we can't change that up.
Is Dan Burn moving into the centre? Mankio coming on,
or Jamal Lewis, but
I don't think Mankio's fit, is he?
Yeah, I don't think he is actually. He may be back now, but
well, he played against. Did he get injured? He played against Sheffield.
Yeah, he was injured last weekend.
Did he get? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Information now.
And then apart from that, I think we're looking at the likes of Elliot Anderson and stuff. But are you guys sort of thinking? I think Alex, you mentioned before. Do you think you'll go the same formation that we ended the game against Bournemouth?
Are you on mute, mate?
Damn it! Quiet for when he's on in the background. Right. But can you all lip read? Oh yeah,
good for the people listening.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
Great comment.
I wasn't lagging that much. Yeah, he's going to have to start the same three in midfield, including Gordon, I think, because unless he wants to drop Miggy in there, which obviously we've not seen Eddie Howe do yet. Elliot Anderson, I wouldn't want to see him in the midfield against Liverpool, not going to lie. And I wouldn't want to force Willock back when he's not ready, which it sounds like he's definitely not. So, yeah, I think we'd be starting in the same formation. And Gordon is really good off the ball. He puts a lot of work in. I don't think he'd leave Joe Linton and Sean Longstaff. I don't think he'd leave them by themselves and let them be overrun in the midfield. So it'll be intriguing to see them get to work, but yeah, I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I think we can give them a good game. They're not in good form at the moment by any stretch, so let's have it.
Is Yotta back?
He was back on the bench, right?
On the bench, I thought he was.
I think he came on.
Aren't they playing in the Champions League on Tuesday night?
Tuesday, We've got Real on Tuesday, so hopefully they'll have one eye on that. Mm-hmm. You'd hope so.
And I think they're a bit better in midfield as well, aren't they? Isn't Henderson starting for them and stuff?
Henderson,
which that'll be interesting because he'll get a bit of banter as well.
The young lad as well, Badgetic. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's looking.
You nearly budgeted his name there.
I thought you were going to try and make a joke about Pete, to be honest.
The old Titchy.
Jesus Christ. It's a fucking stretch it out. Shout out Titch NUFC Watson.
But I didn't want to say it like.
He's what I was thinking it.
Some things are better not said, but yeah.
You get him. You get him on the pod instead of Jack.
Get him.
Yeah, what was I even saying? Yeah, he's been playing quite a bit recently. That young lad and looked quite good. So yeah, I think he's somebody to call out as a player to watch.
And Klopp came out today and said that Van Dijk should start. Said he's like in full training. So unfortunately, he's going to be back. I think.
Well,
did
I'm you again, am I?
No, Jack's just changed his name. That's all. I don't think.
Jesus Christ!
Bring it on.
The look is uncanny.
Do you think the atmosphere will get quite hostile because of Klopp as well? After obviously the game at their place earlier in the season.
To be fair, he got in his interview today. I think he half knew that we were robbed because he said, I don't know if you've seen it, Dawson, did you?
Did I?
He was like, oh, we were lucky. He was like, we got a very, very, very late goal, and he sort of had a little laugh about it. So I think he sort of knew that it was a bit fucking dicey, like.
And also, a journal tried to press him a little bit, press his buttons a bit, talking about Newcastle's money and stuff, and he was like,
yes.
Oh, like, don't get us wrong, Newcastle are going to have money in the future, but that's not why they're there now. It's due to like Eddie Howe and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
he was quite
complimentary. He's trying to fan those flames a little bit.
If you remember though, the two benches were throwing shit at each other down at Anfield.
I think it was Matt Tinners, wasn't it?
No, I think it was one of the coaches, to be honest. I don't think they'd know was high and shit.
Well, it wouldn't surprise us.
Off on maybe fists in the tunnel, but yeah, I think one of
fucking jabs.
I think one of our coaches chucked something from our bench to their bench, and then they started chucking stuff back. So that'll be interesting as well.
I just hope that he's psyched up the team all week. I hope that he's used that result and the hardship that we had done against her in that last minute. That let's go out there and show them what we're about and get at them again, and let's get the result we deserve and all the rest of it. Because if you can't use that to kind of spur the players on, what can you use really? Like Liverpool, as I say, they've been in bad form. But for me, Liverpool, they don't stay in bad form forever. They've got to turn around at some stage. So I'm just nervous that this is the game that sort of starts their season off again, and they can start on the up on the rise again.
I was thinking that.
That's what I'm doing.
One thing I'm hoping of is I really hope that the crowd are up for it, because the last few home games have been shit. The atmosphere has been wank. And the last one, it was a 5:30 kick-off. And you'd think at a 5:30 kick-off, everyone's been on the booze all day. It'd be a bit messy, like, but for the first, 20 minutes, it's alright, then it just dies. Really hope it doesn't get like that, because I really think that it affects the players, like. You see them, you see, when the atmosphere is fiery, you see the players going to the crowd, like, loving it. And I think it causes them to go a bit flat, mate.
Maybe it's the 5:30 kickoffs. Like, I don't know. Like, something maybe about those kickoff times. I mean, it's strange.
I think it's the cup, personally.
Well,
I think you got the elation of the cup and like how good the atmosphere was for that and stuff, and then it just, especially as well because we haven't been playing that well. Like West Ham, we weren't exactly at our best.
Yeah,
so
I think
it feeds
that's
back
the
into
case.
the crowd, and then
missing chances and stuff like that, and like putting good balls in, no one being there, and it's people getting frustrated. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, and then we're more on the edge of a seat watching the game, thinking, where's this going to go?
I think the crowd will be bang up for this one though, because of the result earlier on the season.
But, yeah,
I think Anthony Gordon, if he's on the pitch, there'll be some sort of fire that'll get the crowd going.
He'll get stuck
because that gets the crowd going.
I'm lumping
any sort of squaring up and that.
He's 100% getting carded in that game. Nailed on.
Yeah. Obviously, we had that discussion last week about Joe Linton. And he won't miss the final if he picks up a yellow card.
Will he not?
He will pick one up if he will miss if he gets a red card. So he'll have to be in check as well. And he's now one off missing the City game. So
it's 2 games, isn't it, that he'll get if he gets a yellow card.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that is kind of hanging over him for the rest of the season or not, or when the cut-off is for that to be reset. But yeah, it looks inevitable.
32 games.
It's what?
I'm sure I've had 32 games. It's reset again.
Every 32 games, right?
So I'll go back. Then it'll go to 15 cards and 3-game ban, obviously, which is going to be a stretch with that many games left of the season. But
yeah,
possible.
you could see how annoyed he was because he picked up that yellow against Bournemouth last few minutes. He was fuming.
But you'd been told when you'd been told
as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd been told
I think it was
just
more
don't get
accumulation.
fucking booked. Yeah, I think you'll be warned as well. I think 100% Eddie I'll be like, you need to fucking keep a lid on this.
It's hard because that's his game, isn't it? That's he's in there to be a physical presence. If you're telling him not to be a physical presence and not put himself about,
but he can retaliate a bit.
Yeah,
start pushing players around, shouting at the refs. So
that's what he needs to be careful of, because if this gets a bit spicy and he gets even if it's a second yellow, because he's bound to get a yellow just for fouling.
Yeah,
then he will miss the final.
I'll put a question across to everyone. Out of the team that finished against Bournemouth, if one player was to get a straight red, who would be the biggest impact to the team as a loss? Out of everyone, obviously,
Botman.
Probably Nick Pope aside, maybe, but players on outfield, who would be the biggest loss?
Yeah,
for me.
Well, yeah, I would say Botman, but
I'd say Trippier's captain. He's the biggest leader.
Trippier as well.
He's with
Burn could do it.
It's almost any defender though, because that is our defence. We don't have another defence.
I bet you could say that about midfield as well. If you lost,
just every other position,
literally everywhere.
Literally anyone would fuck me.
I think Joe Linton's probably a close second.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Either him or Longstaff, because then you lose your spiny pitch of your team.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. I worry that we're really tinkering on the edge.
We are
with the two or 3 big games really coming up.
Especially now we've got now we're in the middle of Feb. People are starting to get little niggles, little injuries and that. So I'd like to think it's not. I really don't want it to be the start of a fucking downward spiral with shit like that. Because
what's the home of you?
Even the watch doesn't agree with
you. So I don't know. We just need to keep everyone no cards and wrapped up.
Yeah. Well, Bruno's back obviously for the final, and then he can play against City, and then Joe will be out. But it's almost like with them two, we're being forced to rest them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, with Bruno, we're definitely forced to rest him.
This is what I wanted to ask you about Liverpool, though. Obviously, we're sat 4th at the minute. Man, you are on a pretty decent charge. And Arsenal and City seem to be battling out for first and second.
Mm-hmm.
With Spurs being kind of 5th, and we're always looking over our shoulder at Spurs, do you think there's any chance Liverpool, because I believe they've got a game in hand, and then if they win that, they're 6 points behind them.
I think Liverpool have got 2 games in hand over us.
2 games in hand.
No,
maybe they'll have to win both of those.
It's just 1, is it?
Aye.
Oh, I thought it was 2.
So if they win this, they'll go to 6 points. If they win the game in hand, they'll go to 3. So we can't be losing.
They're starting to get players.
So they're
So
yeah, they're getting all their players back fit as well.
Me personally, I don't think we're getting top 4. Just being realistic. Not that we shouldn't try for it, but I don't think we will. But with obviously Man United and now flying, Rashford's banging for fun, Liverpool getting their players back. Like, I'm not sure who said it before, that win the other day might just sort of get their ball rolling a bit. Bit of confidence back. Stuff like that.
Like,
I think that's what makes this even more important, though, isn't it? Because if we smash them, that puts them like proper back in their tracks, and then they've got to go and play Champions League, Real Madrid, and stuff like that. So we could kind of derail them.
If we win, they will finish top 4.
No, I don't think they will. I don't think Tottenham. I don't think Tottenham are necessarily like much better than us. If they are,
they
might have a lot of good players. No, that's what I mean. I don't think we should necessarily. It sounds mad saying this. I don't think we should necessarily worry about Tottenham.
But they've just lost Bentancur for the season, and he's been probably their player of the season so far. That's a huge.
And if Kane picks up an injury,
aye,
they're basically a one-man team, aren't they? So,
so
yeah, with Liverpool, I just think they're probably one that can't catch us.
Yeah,
so this is very, very important that we don't lose.
Yeah, I think that's it. We need to stop them winning. It's as simple as that. If we draw, we draw. We've drawn, 5 out of the last 6 or something, is it? So I think it's like, if we get another draw from them, we get another draw from them. It's a top team who, on paper, are better than us. Either have had a very poor season for their standards. I'll be happy with a draw, especially another unbeaten game at home. Another unbeaten game in general.
I think as well, it's very important we don't lose a game just before the final.
Yes,
for the mindset and the mentality, you know.
We've
got on this massive run and then we lose the game before the final.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Like, who would have even thought this point in February that we would have only lost 1 game up until now? Like, and
it's wild.
It is crazy,
and we were robbed out of it.
Exactly, and the thing which I was going to say is I would just hate for Liverpool to be
them again,
to do the double against us. Like, that would be deflating. Like, because they've so lucky the first time round. Like, I mean, if we were to get hammered and it was convincing that we were bad and lost heavily, then it would be a little bit easier to take, but even still, it just doesn't sit right that I just don't want them to be the team to be able to do the double against us.
No,
I think are they the only team that can do the double against us? I don't know.
Yep.
Is it? Yeah.
Is there anyone we haven't played yet?
It'll be the first time that we wouldn't have a team do the double over in a season for it's about 20 years or something.
Wow.
We're picking up some class records this season, like
ridiculous. The fact that we've only conceded 13 goals in 22 games is fucking ridiculous.
It's wild saying our goal difference, like on the table compared to recent years, it's like plus 22 or something like that. It's just nuts. Like
we'd be conceding like 50s and 60s.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Just talking about defence, though. Do you think going back to Dan Burn as well? Do you remember the moment just before Trippier cleared it off the line where obviously he tries to play it out from the back and then he sort of half stops? What were your guys' opinions on that? Because I've seen him getting a lot of hammer for it. I don't know if you remember the exact moment I'm talking about.
What a fella. Okay, still black.
He's done with their mind.
Go on then, Pete. Your answer first.
I think he needs to sort of sounds bad, but realise what kind of player he is, who he is. In them positions, you shouldn't be playing out from the back. Just put it out. If you need to put it out, just put it out. Just get it out safe. Might be in a rush of blood. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know what kind of.
We can play out from the back. Whether he just thought he had more time than he did, I don't know. Hopefully, it's just one of things.
Yeah, I think he got a shout. Go on, you guys go.
I was going to say, was there not a challenge on Botman, like just before that maybe?
That's what I thought it was.
Stopped to think it was a foul, maybe, or turned out.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think when I looked at it again, because there's no logical reason what he's done, why he's done what he's done.
Well, that's
I
what
think
I
he
was
got
going
a
to
shout
say. Yeah.
to say time. I think he got told he had time, so he played. Like he went to like run up the this is a guess, because then he when he gets tackled, obviously he doesn't know the player's there. The player comes, tackles him, and he throws his arm up as if to say, why? Either like, why didn't I get a man on, or why did you tell me I had time there?
Yeah.
Rather than
it seemed to just look to me as though, like what Jack was saying there, that it looked like a little foul or something in the build-up, or that he was either looking along the line and thinking, there should have been an offside call, or that there was a foul on Botman. Either way, it looked like he thought that. I mean, and it's criminal if he's not playing to the whistle, but I think he's thinking. It looked as though he was waiting for the ref to call something, and then he just didn't. And it was very, very bizarre. And if somebody of his experience should not be getting himself into that position, I
didn't read it as him stopping at all. Me, I've seen this opinion from other people as well, so it could obviously be correct, but I thought he was just taking the ball into his stride and running up the line, and he literally looks at somebody who's off screen. Obviously, I'm watching it on the telly, and he looks at someone and throws his hand up and gives him a proper dirty look, as if to say
why the fuck you
what's
told
that about? Yeah. So for me, I think he's been done slightly dirty in that game, because everyone's saying he's had the worst game, as a defender this season. But
yeah,
I mean, he wasn't great apart from that. But I don't think he was as bad as people are making out.
No, I don't think we need to resort to knee-jerk reactions as such. But I think the fact that Matt Targett is very close to coming back should be in Eddie's mind, that I think we could ease him back in.
When Targett's fully fit, I'd have him in. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
Especially if we're playing Maxi on the left. But
we've missed that left side of being able to do much going forward.
Maxi and Targett are a great partnership, to be fair.
And he gives us options on set pieces as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anyone with a left peg to take free kicks? And
Miggy's
got a left. Joe Linton's left-footed. Not he takes free kicks, but he's left-footed.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust either of them over a corner or free kick.
I could see Miggy taking a free kick, like a direct free kick. But right. Anything else then? Or should we get into predictions? Is there any other Liverpool team news we need to know about?
Other than just what we've mentioned, that Jota's on his way back, and they also got, I think I read something about Kanate maybe coming back as well. Oh no, sorry.
Did you want to mention anything about Alexander-Arnold, Maxi v Trenty?
Could be interesting if he doesn't defend.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, good point. Well, more obviously Trent, because Maxi will have cover, but Trent won't. Hopefully he'll leave his position.
The problem is though, if Trent bombs up the right hand side and Maxi doesn't track him back,
and Salah's there,
Burn will be left with Salah and Trent. So there might be cover, but he'll get absolutely done.
Yeah. Yes.
So unless Joe Linton's given that role, it's you cover Trent's runs.
That's what.
Unless Trent's have that knocked over by Klopp.
The left centre mid comes back to help. That's what happened against Saka, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, we need to stop Salah because he's 2 goals away from drawn level with Robbie Fowler as the Liverpool's top scorer in the Premier League. So
Couldn't get the fuck, mate.
not that not exactly, but he's.
Wouldn't give a fuck, mate.
Out there. I thought I'd throw it out there.
I'd rather stop him because I don't want to lose the game. And I'm not really arsed about Robbie Fowler's record.
Wouldn't give a fuck about Fowler's fucking what's it called, record.
Wait,
Not to slam you down or that, like.
I'll take that. Take that beating right there. Yeah, exactly.
Fowler.
Wobby.
Shout out Robbie Fowler.
All right, let's get into predictions then.
I'm going to, I'm going to go 2-2.
Desmond,
mate.
Next, two goals conceded for the first time in
Man City. I'm going 1-1 myself.
Desmond 1-1.
I want to predict a win, but we're just missing so many pieces. Go on then, Paige.
I am gonna book the trend, and I'm gonna say we'll win. I'm gonna say 2-1. 2-1.
You're gonna book a trend.
Book a trend.
Titch.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not gonna like me here, but I'm gonna go for the unpopular
You can
opinion.
fuck off if you give the Liverpool fuck.
Right.
You can fuck right
We're
off
not
if you
letting
give
him back
Liverpool
on.
a win.
Piss off.
I don't want to. I really don't want to, but I'm just nervous.
Don't do it.
I'm nervous the way we've played in the last couple of games. I don't think we've got what we need this time round against Liverpool, personally. I'm nervous. I reckon it'll be a 2-0 loss.
Fucking hell. Well.
Fucking athletic scumbag.
I don't know.
So
I don't want it to be. I think it needs to be, as
2-1.
you say, not must win, but just not lose. But I hope I'm wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Good job you're after now.
Well, if you want more predictions like that from Titch, you can find them at The Athletic.
9 days to Wembley.
Fucking come on.